Where in your life have you been procrastinating with a valid reason? If you just gave me one, if you thought of one, if one ran through your head, please go and smack your head against a wall until that quote-unquote valid excuse disappears. Because that's what it is. It's still an excuse. It might feel justifiable. It might mean that, friends and family and other people would accept that as a reason. But it is still an excuse. And that, at the end of the day, is where we get to. There is no valid excuse to not do the work, to not do what is going to progress you towards, the things that you want. Let's be realistic here. Do you procrastinate on the things that are easy, that are sedation, that, don't actually bring you any benefit, that don't actually progress you forward in any way, shape or form? No. You don't procrastinate on watching TV, on doom scrolling. You're not like, I really should just go watch, binge watch another episode. I really should just go smash through another movie. But I'll do it later. I'll put it off. I'll just wait. No, you don't do that shit. You don't do it on the things that are easy, that help you hide from the world, that sedate you. No, you do it on the things that matter, that are difficult, that are going to progress you forward. There is no valid reason to procrastinate on something that matters. To procrastinate on something that is going to push you towards, anything of value in your life. There just isn't. So every time you... What the fuck? Put that out there. Every time you put yourself into a situation like that, you are leaving, everything you want on the table. Every time you put it out there that, I should go do this, but I can't because I'm tired or I'm sore or whatever the reason is, it is an excuse. Sometimes they feel legitimate. I was having this discussion with a friend today, and I was talking about when I was younger, I used to talk about everybody has the same 24 hours in the day. And then I became a parent. And that is a complete motherfucking lie. We do not. We do not have the same 24 hours in the day. Not even a little bit. I was talking to a different friend and they were like, you need to get more sleep. Like, you need to really prioritize your sleep. And I was like, I would fucking love to. But I have a tiny little human who depends on me, whose safety and who needs me to feel safe and connected and looked after. I don't get to dictate how well I sleep. That little human being comes in the middle of the night, oftentimes multiple times in the night, needing cuddles or milk or to be put back to bed or whatever it might be, and then gets up the fucking crack of dawn, to be honest, before dawn, because we have to keep having conversations about what is an acceptable time to go play. I don't get to dictate my sleep. I can make better choices. I cannot stay up late doom scrolling. I cannot stay up late watching TV. I cannot make choices to eat, food, any type of food, too close to bedtime. I can make better choices on that, but I don't get to fully control how my sleep looks. Same as my morning routine. Another friend was like, you should get back into your morning routine. I would fucking love to have the luxury of time to have a perfect morning routine. That is not a reality for me. My children are nearly always awake before my alarm goes off. Nearly always, and if not, they are awake very shortly after that transpires. But that means I get to see my kids in the morning. But I don't have the time, the luxury to be like, oh, well, I'm going to go sit and meditate for a while, or I'm going to go sit and do this. No, I have to get up and go to work. I have valid excuses to skip those things. I have valid excuses to skip my workouts or my weighted walks. Wet, raining, don't have time, sore, didn't sleep well, all those kinds of things. They are valid excuses, and many, many people would accept them. Many times I've spoken to people about doing the weighted walk every single day. And they're like, well, what about it when it's raining? Buy waterproof clothes. What about when it's snowing? Buy warmer clothes, buy warm thermals. What about when it's blistering hot? Drink water. Like, fucking deal with it. Part of the reason why it's outside, part of the reason why we do it the way we do it is so that you overcome the adversity. So that you get used to being like, well, I said it was getting done, therefore it's fucking getting done. That is definitively the point of that style of thing, that you have to face adversity. It's cold as balls at the moment. Winter is definitively coming. And, I just quickly discovered that my wet weather gear is not waterproof. So I bought new stuff. And to be honest, I've gone too far the other way. I went to Aldi and picked up some snow gear. And that is way over the top. But it adds a different level to it. So it's a little bit cold. Now I'm hot. Now I'm cooking while I'm walking. Cool. Let's go with that. It's an adversity level. Find ways to overcome. Not excuses, not valid excuses to avoid the work, but ways to overcome. If I didn't work out because I was tired, I'd never fucking work out. Ever. If I didn't do the work because I didn't feel like it, there are more days than not that I wouldn't do the work. They're just excuses. If I used my kids as a crutch to not work out, to not be in the best shape of my life, well, to be honest, that just is a dick move. Now you're blaming them for your lack of discipline, for your lack of ability to make an adult choice. It's not your kid's fault. I work out with my kids, work out around them. Granted, I am blessed to have a gym set up, but I also made decisions towards that. That I don't have other things that people would identify as necessities. No, I made decisions about buying gym equipment, about having that set up in my house so that I could do it around my kids. So when they have nap time, or many a times put them outside and I'll work out outside with them. They love to lift the weights. They have their own kettlebells. I bought them their own kettlebells and things so that they can participate. As we discuss all the time, it's about setting the fucking standard. So now they just work out. They think that's normal. They think that's fun. They think that's playing with daddy. They're never going to have to learn how to work out. They're never going to have to learn that you have to push through, that you have to create the discipline. To them, that's just a part of life. That's just what we do. We lift weights. We work out together. It's fun. These are the choices that we get to make. And that's the difference. And that's the difference maker on all of that. That you have valid excuses, but it doesn't absolve you of making a better choice. They are good reasons. They are. They're good excuses. But it doesn't mean that you get to cop out. It doesn't mean that you get to avoid doing the work. It means you just have to figure it out and make the choice anyway. See, this is the thing about demanding greatness. This is the thing about doing the work that needs to be done. That it's really, really fucking easy to make choices on things that would be simpler, that would be easier, that would allow you an opt-out. Or you could just dig in, figure it the fuck out, and do what is required. Because no, we don't have the same 24 hours in a day. Not even a little bit. And I know there are many people who have it harder than I do. I have the luxury of working for myself. Granted, I worked really fucking hard for a long time to get to this place, to make sure that I could retire my wife, that I could choose the hours I wanted to work, that I could be home with my kids, especially while they're fucking young. I worked really hard early on, knowing that I wanted to get to that point. So yeah, I am blessed in that manner. But I still make choices. It'd be really easy, and as I've said, to skip those workouts. I've been that hypocrite. I've been that fucking guy who didn't keep his word, that skipped the workouts, who didn't do what was required. I've been him. I don't want to continue being him. I don't want to go back to being that guy. I want to be a different man. So I make better choices. So I show the fuck up and do the work, even when it's hard. Today was one of them. You know, we had a basketball game last night, and it took its toll on me. You know, I took a couple of shots that weren't optimal. My hip wasn't as recovered as I would have liked it, but I played the game because we were going to be short. And so I showed up and I did the work. I felt that this morning. And lo and behold, today was legs. And it would have been really, really easy to skip that. It would have been really easy to just be like, oh, not today. I'll just rest. And in fact, I had that conversation. I had that conversation with myself about, oh, well, I could just take a rest day today. I've got a couple of sales chats coming up. I've got a lot of work on today. I need to get a lot of shit done today. I could just rest. It'd be all right. Because, you know, when I got out of bed this morning, it was fucking ginger. You know, even my wife was like, oh, are you sure you're going to be up for this? And I was like, there is no choice. I decided long ago, I don't actually get a choice in this matter. This is just getting done. And so off I went. And those first few things, I had to spend some extra time getting back into it. You know, bit of rehab style stuff, bit of activation, bit of stretching, bit of foam rolling, and got into it. And lo and behold, once I got shit moving again, I hit a new PB on my squat. Best it's been since the meniscus tear. Fucking killed it. Was really proud of myself. And I was like, I nearly skipped that workout today. I nearly was like, nah, that's too much. But I felt great. And having done all that kind of stuff made my body feel so much better. Because everybody's like, oh, you need to stop, you need to rest, you need to take time off, you need to, you know, validate these excuses as to why you cannot do the work. No. You need to harden the fuck up. Have a cup of concrete, decide what it's gonna be, you know, chuck on a helmet because life is fucking hard, and do the work. Because if I'd missed it today, it was still gonna be there tomorrow, and it would be harder tomorrow. And my body would have felt worse from not doing the shit. And if I missed the next day, and every day after that, it gets harder and harder because you keep delaying the work. The longer you avoid it with your valid excuses, the harder it's going to be. And it just piles up on itself. It just builds and builds and builds. Or you could step the fuck out of the way. Or you could rise up and actually do the work. Actually do what is required. Stop giving in to your valid excuses about it. You need to stop validating the reasons why you can't do it and start validating the reasons why you must. And if you have people in your corner who are telling you that it's okay, that it's all right to miss, that it's all right to be a weak, to be a bitch, to not do what's required, you need to remove them from your life. Because it is unacceptable to know what needs to be done, to know that you need to do this work and then avoid doing it, to keep delaying it, to keep kicking it down the line. If you're going to delay anything, if you're going to procrastinate on anything, you need to procrastinate on your gratification, on giving in to sedation, on giving in to easy and comfortable. That's the shit that you need to kick down the line. You need to keep showing up and doing the work. Keep showing up and winning the fucking day. That is what's required. That is what is necessary. And until you do that, until you show up every single day like the badass motherfucker that you know you are, it's just going to keep getting worse. Because you're validating all the reasons why you're staying stuck. You're validating all the reasons why you're staying in mediocrity. You can't break free from it while procrastinating on the work that you know needs to get done. You cannot. You have to do better. You have to be better. You have to show up better. So procrastinate on the shit that doesn't matter. Procrastinate on the stuff that won't serve you, that won't bring value to your life, that won't improve your life. Procrastinate on that. Not on the things that is going to make a difference. Not on the things that are going to push you forward. Stop procrastinating on those. Actually step up and do the necessary work. Do what is required. Because, well, there is no other option. You deserve this. Your wife deserves this. Your children deserve it. So stop validating your excuses. Stop validating your bitch voice. Stop validating all the reasons why it's too hard, it's too difficult, it's the wrong time, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm too busy. All of the bullshit. We all make choices with our day. And it's time to make better fucking choices. I've said it before. You know, when people are like, I don't have time to work out. If you watch any form of TV, if you sedate with any form of social media or anything along those lines, you have time. You're just making a decision. If your whole day isn't filled with spending quality time with your family, working, or sleeping, if that doesn't take up every single waking second of your life, then you have time and you're just making a decision not to do the work. So it's time to stop being that guy. It's time to step the fuck up and recognize that you have the opportunity to become the greatest version of yourself. It's time to start demanding greatness of yourself. So if you're ready for that, click the link in my bio. Let's step into that reality and make it fucking happen. Now is your moment. And I can't wait to help you make that happen. Until then.